This is video 2 of January 22nd, 2009. When I mentioned concerning asking questions of the Almighty Spirit and then having His visitation is very real. This took place in 1995. On September 29th. Prior to that date, a week before, I would have a conversation with a friend up north in South Jersey. And he would state certain things that I was very upset with, and I would ask God about why he would state this and be this way. I was asked to come to Jersey, that he wouldn't talk to me ever again until I had tickets in my hand to come to New Jersey back to visit. Well, I had asked God through my third eye if I have to go on this trip, that he would make it happen. And I would want to do so real fast. But I also had thought of many other things to ask him at this time. For this was the first time I would ever ask God certain questions concerning a friendship. And I figured I'm going to go the full extent of asking him about prophetic writings, what really is going to happen on his day, of what he decides to do with humanity and what humanity has done with free will, and their understanding of the spirit realm. I had heard about this and watched this movie Nostradamus. What is really going to happen in 1999? What is really the future for us all? And I asked him certain other questions, which is in the book. And then I asked him for his presence. Like many prophets in life, such as Noah, Moses, Abraham, Daniel, Ezekiel, Jesus, I would state many things in this prayer or questionnaire to God, especially since I'm asking for his presence. That's a bold question to ask. Now we know I only talked with my third eye, my inner mind, and only he would hear. I know many out there claim that they have conversations with a spirit that they call God. Do you really validate it, and how do you validate it? Because some spirits act like they're God, the higher spirit of them all, and sometimes lead you on an erroneous path and give you some information that is wrong. And sometimes those spirits don't know all the answers or can't give you all the information. That's where clairvoyancy comes into play, and how it is used and what it's all about. Well, on my way to Jersey, within a week's time, everything fell into place. I would get the approval from my employment that I could take off right away. And when I got there, on the second day that I would be there. This friend and I would go out to various stores to buy some items and film for our Polaroid cameras. And when we returned, my friend put his film into his camera and placed it on his TV, on the corner of the TV in the living room. We proceeded to go out to another store, food shopping, for the week that I would be there. We came back and I had to wait for another friend to come by about 7 o'clock to pick me up and go somewhere. I proceeded to unpack and put away things, and my friend that was there was laying on one of his couches in the living room, snoring away, sleeping. I decided while I'm waiting for 7 o'clock to come around, I would turn on the stereo, lay down on the couch, close my eyes and put myself into like a meditative state, listening to this certain song of life known as You've Got a Friend. While I'm listening to that, I all of a sudden hear this camera go off. By itself. My friend was sleeping on the couch. I on another couch. And I would say that I knew that there was only one dim light coming from the kitchen, about a 40-watt bulb. The rest of the house was a little dark. Now, I didn't open up my eyes. I remembered my prayer days before, asking for the presence of God. I wondered how this camera would activate by itself, the flash bar down, closed. It wasn't no computer. It wasn't going to operate erroneously or operate on its own. Something or somebody had to operate that camera. I proceeded to open my eyes after about 30 seconds and turned to look at the camera and noticed that this camera was now leaning off the TV, about ready to fall, with a picture jutted out. It had operated on its own to some degree. How was this possible, I asked. I thought about that prayer and what I had asked about the presence of God. I didn't touch this picture until my friend would wake up, or until my friend appeared, who was coming to pick me up. His name is in the book. Because when he showed up, I asked him to come inside, and I would I would wake my friend up, and my friend would visit, and I would tell him what happened with the camera and what took place. And I stated I wouldn't touch this picture for the world until you showed up. Let's look at the picture now. At this time, what would you think the picture would be of? No flash bar, very little light in the room, operated on its own. Would you think the picture would be black? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that picture was shades of solid white. You could see the different levels of lightness and brightness. Now, in this book, I do not have that picture, because if I had used it as a picture in a book and put a borderline around it, you would state, what's there? I see nothing but white paper, just like the rest of the book. White paper and print on it. No proof. But at that time, I only showed certain people and told people what it was about. My friends at that time, I couldn't tell them who I knew it was and what I had asked. I wouldn't repeat that prayer to anybody until I had to in life in this book, or afterwards, when certain events had taken place in life, such as 1999, or as we know now, 2001. Now, I do have certain other events of life that took place concerning visitation from this higher spirit, which I will talk about in the next few videos. I hope you come back and listen to more, because I have a lot more to say what is in this book. Until then, may God bless.